Hello everyone, happy Thursday. Thank you for joining me. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery kits. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And it's a time where we can relax and craft together for about an hour. And I work on projects from beginning to end, so you can be part of the whole process and work on the project with me if you like. So we're working on the Splendid Sampler 2 Quilt Along, and it is in book format right now. It's by Pat Sloan and Jane Davidson. So it's 100 blocks, and we are working through all of the blocks, and we will eventually get them all done. I think we're about maybe a fifth of the way done now, so we're working hard. So all right, we're going to continue on the full circle block tonight, but it is new block Thursday. So every Thursday the writers are releasing a new block that the collective group is going to work on. So they are actually doing 4 blocks at a time, and I needed some handwork tonight. I wanted to just do a little casual, easy peasy hand stitching tonight, so I'm not actually going to start any of the new blocks tonight. We're going to do the hand stitching on our current block, the full circle block. But tomorrow I will be starting one of these new blocks, and I will show you which one I'm planning on doing. So we'll take a look at the new blocks, and then we're just going to chill and hand stitch for a little bit. I just didn't want to get the sewing machine out, and honestly, I didn't want to cut any more fabric. I cut a bunch of fabric today, and I'm just over the ruler and the rotary cutter. So tonight I just want to chill, and we'll do some hand stitching, and we'll get to the cutting of fabric tomorrow for a new block. So I'm going to flip you around. Let's look at these blocks, and we'll start stitching. Thanks for joining me, guys. All right. Man, every block just makes more and more of a mess here. It's always nice when I finish up a block, because then I get to clean my space a little bit, and it just, I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel about cleaning, but it always makes me feel like I'm put together a little bit, like I'm just getting something done and I can just be calm a little bit. So, all right, hold on here a sec, you guys. All right, there we go. So this is the full circle block. This is what we're going to be doing more on tonight. But let's check out these new blocks from the Splendid Sampler. So I'm going to we'll go back to front. I put little tabs on them. So we have the Lotus on Pond by Fiona Wright, and this is like a cute little applique project. I don't know. We'll see what we'll do. Maybe we'll do this. This would maybe be a nice one to do needle turn applique. Actually, needle turn takes a little bit longer, but these nice big shapes I think will be easy to do. We'll see. So there's one sewn piece, and then the rest is applique. So that's Lotus on Pond. That's on page 100. And let's see. Oh, we got Button Up. So right here by Cecil McPeak and Rachel Martin. And this one looks way complicated, but I think they have a little trick going in it that's going to make it actually pretty easy. So I'm excited to do this. Oh, you know what? It's called Button Up, but I just realized just now that it's supposed to look like a button. I thought it was just kind of a neat, abstract circle shape with like all these little neat pieces, but it's like a literal button. It's so cute. So yeah, so there's some neat techniques in here, I think, so I'm excited for that one. Let's see what else. Oh, this is on page 90. So if you have the book, we're doing all the blocks from the book right now, so there aren't any more. The first 20 blocks we got before the book came out, but now that the book's here, we're working through the book. So this is page 90. Jane Davidson, we have Changing Seasons. Oh, this is cute. So we could do a different kind of leaf for each season. That would be kind of pretty. So this is just like a nice pieced block. We're piecing together like these cute little square units, and then we got these little rectangles. So we got, a fun little 4 patch that, isn't all equal pieces. And we got 4 of those. And then we got like this 9 patch where we have, our groupings here,
a rectangle and another grouping, and then, you know, 3 rows of 3. So that's, we've done that here before, so I think that would be probably nice and quick and easy too. And then we got these little detail appliques on there. That's pretty cute. So this one I thought would be fun to do, but then I'm like, oh, that looks like a lot of cutting, and I don't want to do any cutting today, you guys. And then last is Nancy Spool by Nancy Zeman. And this one is just, you know, it looks like a really pretty spool. And this is like a sewing spool. This is the one I think we're going to work on tomorrow. Just because it looks easy and I think I can finish it in a night. So this just looks like 4 squares. 2 of them we make into half square triangles, where we have like a square that's split into 2 triangles. And then we have little tips of triangles on all 4 blocks that come together to make a square. So I thought that looked nice and easy. It is awfully cute. I think it'd be a good win, a good quick win for us. So I think we'll probably work on this one on Friday. The U.S. A connection to Nancy's block. Oh, is on the website. Yeah, so you can find all the blocks too. So every person here, if you go to thesplendidsampler.com, you'll be able to get links to the designers here. Oh, there's a correction on Nancy's block. Oh, you guys, I think I saw you guys talking about that in the Penguin and Fish Crafters group. So there's a correction. I haven't read these instructions yet, but there's a correction in here. So you have to go to the website to see the correction. So if you guys are confused on something there's corrections in here. Okay, I will take a look at those before tomorrow. So I need to download the pattern in case the book is wrong. Oh, okay. They did a correction this book. So, okay, so it sounds like some of you guys got one version and other people got the newer version. But to check, I should go to the Nancy Zeman website and look for the change. Okay, I will definitely check that out before tomorrow, so I'm not totally confused. But luckily, if I'm confused, you guys are here to help me out, which is amazing. But tonight, we are going to work on the full circle one, and I lost the page, so let's look that up again. There's a nice catalog of all the blocks in the back here, and I made a photocopy of this to mark down the ones that we have done, but it is somewhere in my crazy mess here. Oh gosh, what is this one even called again? I just said it, but now I've totally forgot. Is it circle something? Oh, I totally just forgot what this was called. Let's see if it pops out at me. All right, well, anyway, we're going to have to find this block. Anyway, it doesn't matter because I know we are going to be applicating. Oh, full circle, that's what it was. Thanks, Suzanne. I knew, I'm like, circles in it, but wait, that doesn't sound right. So full circle. Oh, here we go. 78. Page 78. There we go. So full circle. Thanks, you guys. Man, I just had a total brain meltdown there. All right, so we are at the stage. We've been working on this block for the past couple days, and we got to the point here where it was not what I was expecting at all for this block. So this is a lot of English paper piecing, and I thought we were going to wrap fabric around this template piece and English paper piece to all these little petals here, but that's not actually what's happening. We are taking the petals that we made yesterday or a couple days ago, and we are gluing them to the front of a piece of fabric, and we're using our little template piece here as just a guide on where to place our pieces. So then we're going to actually applique this to the larger piece of fabric. So not what I was expecting from just guessing and looking at this block. So that was kind of fun. So we're going to give this a try. we're going to just hand stitch tonight. Like I said, I just needed a little hand stitching. So it looks like from the instructions that we are leaving this applique or this template piece, freezer paper template, we're leaving that on while we stitch. However, I think we are going to take out the freezer paper from these templates, the petal templates. So it doesn't say to do that anywhere. But my mom said that they just kind of came out as she was stitching, and it just seems like it would make sense to stitch without them there, because it's just going to be easier to make our stitches if this isn't, if this just feels like fabric instead of a template piece in there. So we're just going to kind of go for that and see if that works out for us. So I'm going to actually go ahead and take out all of these pieces, and I may have to put a few more dabs of glue on. We did starch the edges of this, so we shouldn't have a problem with them like coming unfolded or anything. So I'm going to just kind of, the freezer paper is so easy to come off. So I'm going to just kind of pop that out of there. Yeah, so easy. And there, now we have just fabric again, and that's going to be just easier to hold and stitch down. So instead of this being an English paper piece project, it's kind of like English paper piecing plus like needle turn applique. Like needle turn applique where you like pre-bend your fabric. Okay, before I get too far, I am going to glue down this bit here. It seems like it's popping up. This is that fabric that doesn't really take to glue easily, so maybe I'll stitch this one first just to get it down. So I'm only putting glue on the seam allowance. I don't want to get it on the back fabric because then it'll look like it's stuck onto the fabric. If I'm just on that seam allowance, the main fabric will still float off the back a little bit. All right, this is going to be much easier without the papers in here. And freezer paper as a template maker is great because it sticks. You can reattach it a bunch of times, and it just comes off so easily as well. Just that little waxy bit. Ooh, Valerie, you made, wow, 3 kits for Christmas gifts and a wall hanging. That's, man, you must have started last year Christmas. That is a lot. That's a lot to get done. Good work. Oh, Lisa, you made 3 too. Holy cow. What a nice gift. I'm just using one of these cute little stilettos to just kind of dig into here to release the freezer paper from the fabric. Then I can just pop it out easily. In a month? Holy cow! You made 3 quilts in a month. Wow, that makes me tired. That is a lot of work. They better be awfully pleased with that. Okay, we went all the way around. I think I am going to just put a dab of glue on all these little parts that are popping up just because they're making me a little nervous. So I'm just going to dab that down because we're going to be handling this quite a bit right now. And I'm afraid that I'll be working on one and another one will pop off. But you know what? It's not going to matter so much if that happens because we do have this template piece. So we should be able to glue it back on pretty easily. Ooh, an Irish chain and 2 patchwork scrappy quilt squares. Oh man, you know what? I love those little scrappy quilts. I have a bunch of clothing that I've been saving that I would love to convert into quilts, like cut up into little squares and make into some quilts. Okay, so I am going to start with this one that I know is a little bit of a problem. And you know what? I think I'm going to start right at the point here between where these two meet. So I'll kind of just really attach, I'll be attaching these two to each other. Like I'll get that nice point and then I'll start stitching, make sure I get the next point or that little nook point really well, and then we'll just keep going around. So this should be like one long deal here. So let's get the thread. I am using the 50 weight Aurifil thread. 50 weight is a nice thin thread. This is what we've been using for to stitch all this together. I said last night, I think a lot of people, you know, the hardcore people, or the people who know more than me and do more than I do, they use 80 weight. That's a little thinner than this even. And I think how that helps is maybe their stitches look a little smaller, or they're not, I don't know, making as big of holes in their fabric. I'm not quite sure. I've never used 80 weight before, but I don't know, maybe I'll try sometime. Okay, so I think I might be shooting myself in the foot for doing such a long piece of thread. Yeah, I'm gonna cut it shorter. The longer thread I do, the more knots I seem to get. But yeah, I wanted to try, I'm gonna have to try one of those thread conditioners or like wax, beeswax or something. We're gonna have to try that sometime. All right, so I am gonna just tie a knot in here, and we'll start with a knot on the back. So I'm just wrapping the thread around my needle a bunch of times, and they're making like a little, kind of a hefty knot there. Oh, you've done a free motion quilting with 80 weight, and it's nice. Oh, I bet you that looks really kind of sweet. Okay, all right, I'm gonna start at this point here. Okay, so, you know, this is gonna be a little goofy because this guy's gonna wanna pop up, but maybe it'll just get out of our way then. So I don't know. I've never done, you know, an applique like this before with the template piece there. And it says to keep it in, so we're just gonna do that. All right, so I'm coming up from the back and I'm going through both bits of, both sides of these fabrics to get right at the point. I'm gonna go around that part another time just to kind of lock those fabrics in place. And maybe I made a little too big of a stitch here, but we're gonna be okay. There we go. So I'm using that size 11 straw needle again. Let's see if I have those nearby. Oh yeah, right here. So I'm using that John James. I mean, you use whatever brand you want, but I have been liking the size 11. They're Milner's or straw needles. So when you do a search, I have a link to these as well if you want to look at these. But if you just do a Google search or an Amazon search for Milner's or straw, like STRAW needles, then they'll pop up. But I do like the size 11s. The 11s are super thin and fine, so it's just really nice because it doesn't leave big marks or holes in your fabric, and it goes through the fabric really easily. They do tend to bend. You know, they're super thin, so as you work with them, they bend, but they still work. And if you get a whole pack, then you got extras there. I've been using a bent one for ages, and I always forget to get a new one. Like whenever I'm with you guys, I'm like, oh man, I need to get a new one. But the moment we're done, I totally forget about it. All right, anyway, let's do some needle turn applique here. So we've already turned it under from our template, so we can just stitch it down now, which is awesome. So I'm gonna go kind of in the hole that we just started at. I'm just in the background fabric now. So I'm gonna go into the background fabric, and I'm gonna come back up like a stitch length away, but I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna snag a couple threads from my front fabric here. So that'll be our first stitch. There we go. And now I'm going to go directly across, so just in the back fabric, but kind of in the same spot as I'm at right now, but just in the back fabric, not the front fabric. So that'll kind of like tack down the front fabric. And then I'm going to make my next stitch. So I'm going to come up and just grab, again, a couple threads from that front fabric. And that'll be my second stitch. And there we go. See, we tacked down a little stitch right there, and they're gonna be almost hidden, but not hidden enough that you can't see them. I mean, I think it's gonna be really cute. I like seeing the little hand stitches on the needle turn applique here. Oh man, you guys, just these 2 stitches, I can tell you I feel like my blood pressure has just gone down just with these 2 stitches. It was just a long day and I'm sleepy, and I wanted to do just hand stitching today just to chill out a little bit, because cutting for me, like cutting fabric, is like kind of the most stressful part for me in a project. I don't know. I always get scared that I'm going to cut something wrong, or just something silly like that. So I'm like, I don't want to cut. And we have all new projects because it's New Block Thursday. I didn't want to cut anything, so we're working on this instead. And literally, just with the 2 first stitches, I'm just like, whew, it's good. Yeah, so this is our freezer paper template, and I know it looks crazy right now, but we glued. So this is what we did in the last step. So yesterday we fused this just as a guide to glue down these leaves. So remember, we made we had those templates, and we only folded one side of the template over. We only folded one side of fabric over. So these are the raw edges out here, and on the inside are our nice folded edges. So the reason that we keep the raw edges here is because we're actually going to applique. This is a template that we still have to do. We're going to wrap fabric around this and then applique it to the top of this thing, if you can believe it. So we're going to applique on the inside of this circle. We're going to stitch it just like what we're doing now. We're going to stitch it down to here. We're just going to follow the edge of this and stitch it down. So we don't need to deal with these edges at all. We don't need to turn them under. We don't need to do anything because something else is going to be covering it up. So that's the funny thing with this block. We're doing our little shapes, our English paper piece shapes, and then we're appliquing layers and layers and layers upon layers. So right now we're appliquing the petals to what's going to turn out to be this, and we're going to applique a white piece onto the top, and we're actually going to applique. We're going to cut out this square. It's going to be folded over this shape. And then we're going to applique this giant piece to this little piece. So this will show through that hole. We made this yesterday. And it'll go through here. We will see the blue, Sandra. So we'll see the blue here, where this white piece is covering. So when we're done stitching these petals on, we're going to take this off. This is going to come off, so this will be blue. We're going to take this off, and we're going to actually use it on the back as a template. We'll wrap around what we cut here. We'll wrap around, and it sounds crazy. It sounds nuts, but I'm telling you, it's going to come together. It was not what I was expecting when I first looked at it. So it's a combo English paper piecing. Like, this is English paper piece together. We have all our triangles that we've English paper pieced together. And then it's like appliquing pieces on top and top on top of each other. It's like I said, not what I was expecting. So it's kind of fun so far, just because I'm like, oh, that's a surprise. All right, we'll do it. So right now we're at the stage of just appliquing our little circle pieces to the fabric that will eventually be this shape. So that's what we're doing now. I think this shape might just eventually fall off as we stitch, which is fine because we've glued down these shapes. I don't really know why we need that template piece there yet, but it did say to leave it there until you're done. So we'll see. So we'll see how far we get on these petals. Ooh, the one thing with these straw needles, though, they're nice and sharp. They're nice, new, sharp needles. And I keep stabbing myself on the back of this. Oh, what did you do with the gloves? What are you using the gloves for that you cut the fingers off of it? Oh, are you doing that for the clover iron? I missed the first part of what you guys are talking about. So yeah, this teal is not actually going to be here in the background. This is going to be white. The teal is only going to be where this template piece is. Oh, for free motion quilting. Oh, so you cut out the, oh, now that's clever. So you cut off the fingers so you can, you know, use your fingers. You have access to your fingertips, which is nice. That's a good idea. I like it. Yeah, so we have enough blocks put together that we could do another round of free motion quilting on our quilt as you go. But I've kind of been, I don't know, I've been excited about this block since I found out that it was so different than what I thought it was going to be. So I kind of want to finish this block up. I think if I finish one more block, then I'll have enough to make another one. Oh, Angela Walters has a new design of gloves. Oh, I'll have to take a look at that. All right, our first petal is done. This guy is sewn on. So that didn't take too long, and I was chatting through it too. So I'm at the center now. Did I go over that once? I think I've gone around this middle point once already. So we're gonna just start up the next piece. So again, going across and coming up a stitch length away in the front of the fabric. So I'm actually pretty happy that there's a lot of applique in this and it's not all English paper piecing, because I like needle turn applique so much more than English paper piecing. I know a lot of people just love English paper piecing, but I don't know, for me, holding the fabric like this for this needle turn is just so relaxing and comfy, and for the English paper piecing, it's always a little awkward in my hands. Like I feel like I'm gripping too tightly, or I don't know, my hands just, I do a lot of hand work type stuff during the day, so sometimes it just is a little achy doing English paper piecing. But I don't know, for some reason this needle turn applique just is just right, and I'm so happy that I am learning how to do it. This was a new technique for me, or needle turn applique just period was new to me. I mean, I knew what it was, but I had never done it when we started the first Splendid Sampler. So there was a lot of needle turn applique, or a lot of opportunities to do needle turn applique in the first Splendid Sampler, and I used that to try and learn and get a little better at that, and now I just really like it. And I mean, it's even extra fun when you pre-turn all your fabric. So, you know, with the template pieces and with the starch, we've pre-turned all our edges under here for this needle turn applique, and that's nice because then I don't have to futz with turning the edge under as I go, turning the seam allowance under as I go. I can just stitch it down, which is the fun part. That's the part I want to do. It's just slowly stitch all these little stitches. I actually like it a lot more than I was expecting to, needle turn applique. So I'm kind of a little happy that it turned out to be a lot of needle turn applique in this. All right, I'm just going around this point again. I kind of like going around the points. I feel like it just kind of locks things in place. I want to make sure that those edges stay together. And all right, we got these two down, and this is definitely popping off as I go, but that's okay. All right, next up, we have 4 more to go here. Let's see how far we can get. I would love to be able to get all these stitched on tonight, but we'll see how it goes. Just gotta, it's gonna take as long as it takes, this needle turn, and I got a crazy knot here. Oh, we just got twisted around. thread here. Come on. There we go. Yeah, needle turn applique, it does. It gives a piece dimension because we're only stitching down the edge, so the rest of the fabric is kind of allowed to float almost above the fabric it's stitched on. So there's just like a kind of a weird extra little dimension that needle turn applique gives versus, you know, like a raw edge applique where we're just fusing it to the background and then the whole fabric piece is stuck on the background. This just stitches down the edge and allows the fabric itself to float above. And I'm, you know, after stitching a few of these, I think definitely take the templates out beforehand. It's just way more comfortable and it's working just fine. Make sure you got them glued down. Again, just on that seam allowance, but yeah, it's nice not having a template piece in here. Yeah, exactly, Noeline. You can just you can stitch a few bits and set it down and ooh, I'm a little stuck here. Oh, I got a little knot here again. But you can just stop anywhere. Like I could stop right now and start it up just super easy. It's not like, you know, it's not like I always feel like with knitting or something I have to finish the row, you know. But yeah, with needle turn applique, you can just pick it up wherever you left off, which is nice. You love the freezer paper applique. You know, I am really liking, you know, this past block, this block. It was pretty dang easy to do that freezer paper and then just with that little starch tucking these edges over. I mean, whatever it takes to skip turning the edges under while we applique is nice. I mean, that's totally traditional needle turn applique is when you know, like this edge would be flipped out and I would tuck it under and then stitch it down. That's, I think, super traditional needle turn. So this is kind of like a modified needle turn applique where we pre-turn the edges and then stitch it down, but this is the relaxing way to do it. I like it. Oh, for thread conditioner, you can use Burt's Bees lip balm. Oh, you know what? I might get some of that and just have it in with all my sewing stuff. Because I should try, because I am getting super tangled here, and conditioning the thread with that, I bet you would help a lot with, you know, all these itty bitty knots that I keep getting. And that's, you know, I did my thread a little too long too, so that, I mean, we're rubbing, the thread is rubbing against the fabric, so it's kind of causing some friction and eating away at the thread little by little. And it makes the thread a little funny. All right, going around this spot again. This kind of locks it in place. Oh, you've brought your needle turn to the doctor's office before. Yeah, this would be like the perfect thing. You can even fold it up and throw it in a bag. All right, we did the 3. That only took like 4 minutes to do that last one. We're for sure getting all this done. Yeah, the drag on the thread. Oh, yeah, seriously, I can feel just my brain and my heart just slow down by just these little stitches. It's just, that's the best. I love that. I dropped the thread from my needle here. I mean, they should teach all this stuff in school, not as, you know, hey, you can make stuff, but just as a, oops, sorry, you guys, I just bumped you. But as like a therapy, you know, like if you get super stressed, you know, stitch a few stitches on your quilt piece or whatever, and then, you know, reassess or something, you know. It's just I don't know, so relaxing. I'm probably gonna have to get a new thread before we finish this, which is a bummer. It's always awesome when you have the exact right amount of thread. Pretty sure I'm not gonna make it all the way. Yeah, this would make a great little travel project, especially for short little trips, like to the doctor's office or, you know, DMV or something. Something where you only have to stitch a few little guys on. We're gonna have a lot of like spare fabric from this block, I think. Yeah, exactly. Everyone would be stitching everywhere every day. This is a way to just... If people knew the calming effects of just some hand stitching, it would be like required. Yeah, you're going to Disney World in the morning and taking your cross stitch. That's awesome, Lisa. Have fun. That'll be exciting. Ah, stabbed myself there. Oh, I would totally need to bring something like that for like the plane ride or just sitting in an airport or something. All right, 2 more. Yeah, we're cruising on this. You know what? I bet you I have enough. I'm going to kind of dangle this, see if it unwinds a little bit. There, it did a little bit, my thread. Haha, your husband better be glad that you can't take your sewing machine to Disney World. Yeah, really? That'd be kind of fun. Tiny sewing machine. All right, so once I'm done stitching these on and I take this white template, this freezer template off, I think we'll get a little bit better sense of what this might start to look like. But man, it's fun stitching these down. These little petals or leaves or, yeah, petals, that's what they're calling them, right? Little petals. Oops, grab the corner there. Yeah, that freezer paper template is just, you know, wants to be out of the way. It's just going to come off on its own, I think. You have a smaller travel baby lock you fly to classes with? Oh, man! Can you imagine? Some planes have outlets now, too. You could totally take that out of, like, some carry-on and plug it in and start sewing on the actual airplane. That would be amazing. Oh, my God. That would be so crazy, crazy town fun. Oops, I lost my needle again there. Wonder if anyone's done it before. I'm sure they have. I don't know, maybe not. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Oh, it'd be so cool though. Pull out the sewing machine on the plane. All right, we're almost to this last little corner here. This went faster than I thought, stitching all the way around here. Kind of faster than the English paper piecing, I think. I'm using kind of big stitches, but we're on like these kind of like curved, long, you know, straightaways almost. So I don't, you know, there's no like detail work that I have to like do smaller stitches to make sure I'm holding down every little bit. So my stitches I think are probably a little bit bigger than usual, which is perfectly fine. All right, I'm going around this point again. Oh, I don't think I caught the back fabric. Ugh, I think the template's in my way. That's what's going on. There we go. All right, last one. I think the template's going to fall off as I do this, but we'll see. Pretty orange fabric here. Ugh, and I'm going to have enough thread to go all the way around, which makes me happy. Oh, my glue's coming off a little bit, but I think we'll figure it out. Yeah, on a long flight. Yeah, just think about that. If you had a 5-hour flight or something. And you know, the airports sometimes have outlets too, so you could sew in the airport and sew on the plane. Yeah, 5 good solid hours of sewing. Dude, you'd totally get a ton done. You'd have to be super prepared. Like you'd have to have like your little garbage mini bag with you, and I don't know, like your fabrics all planned out. You could put, you know, what blocks go together in little Ziploc bags or something. And yeah, if you were prepared, it'd be a pretty slick deal. You could even free motion quilt on the plane. That'd be something. Yeah, how the other passengers would react. That'd be funny. You'd have to put your headphones on so no one talked to you. I was like, what are you doing? Sunglasses and headphones. That they should get the message then. I like it. Well, I think it should happen. If anyone does it, take photos. I want to see. All right, we got like 3 more stitches here. Not enough elbow room. Yeah, you'd have to squeeze in a bit. Yeah, you might make a little airplane sewing group. Okay, last stitch. I'm gonna just kind of end in that corner again, and I think I'm just gonna go to the back of the fabric, and oh, look, you can see all our little stitches. I'm just gonna kind of grab a part that I know is covered by another piece of fabric, and we're gonna just tie a little knot there. I'm sure there's some special technique of tying off your little knots on the back here, but on the back of pieces, but I don't know. I just do it this way. All right, needle is done. Snip this, and I think the next part is to remove this shape, and it's practically removed already. Like it's, oh, yep, see, it's barely flopping on there. But there we go. So all of these pieces are stitched down now on the inner edge. And if we get this piece here, so this will eventually wrap in our white fabric, and that will sit right on top here. So like all of these points, like in theory, perfectly meet the circle, and it looks like it does. Ooh, let's rotate a little bit. So just like that. And so it'll be white, then all our petals, then this blue, and then we'll cut a hole in here, a hexagon-shaped hole, and then this guy will go in the middle. But you know, imagine that all these edges are kind of tucked under, so it'll be smaller. But that will be, I think, kind of, if we rotate it, kind of like, I think like this. So we're getting there, you guys. We're getting pieces stitched down. And that, yeah, I mean, I wasn't sure I was going to finish that tonight, so that's awesome. So tomorrow, well, actually, we can do, yeah, okay, so tomorrow, Oh, tomorrow I'm going to work on that Nancy Zeman block. So we'll probably pick this up again on Monday, just because I'm like kind of stoked to keep going on this block. But I do want to do one of the new blocks from this week tomorrow. So we will do that Nancy Zeman, the cute one with the spool. So that's right here, Nancy spool. I think if we get speedy, we can finish this in an evening. So we will do this tomorrow. And then I think we'll be back on this guy. So what's coming up next here is, let me get to the page again. We are going to now take this template piece. So we still need this. So don't toss this when you're done. We're going to flip it around to the back. Oh, and look, we can use our stitched lines as a guide. I was not sure how we were going to line this up perfectly from the back, but we have our stitched line. We have like an outline of where this should go. So that's great. So we are going to fuse this to the back. Oh, there we go. Fuse this to the back now. And so we just had it on the front. Now we're fusing it to the back. We are going to cut out this hexagon, but we're going to leave our 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around. And then we have to snip into the corners, and then we will fold that seam allowance around to this template piece. And then again, we are going to use our starch. We're going to use our little clover iron again, little clover iron right here. And the same as we did with the petals, we're going to fold over that edge and get that nice starched folded edge all the way around. So that's all we're doing. Then we will be stitching. So we'll have a nice perfect hexagon here with pretty edges when we're done with that. And then that we will be, that hole that we're creating here, that hole we're going to lay on top of this hexagon here, and then we're just going to applique that hole to the hexagon. So that's how this part is done, I believe. So let me know if that, does that make sense? It's kind of the same thing as what we did here, but we're cutting out that hole, wrapping it around this piece, then appliquing it on top like that. And then we're going to be doing the same thing for this circle. So we are going to take this circle, we are going to fuse it to our white, and then we're going to cut out the circle, and then little by little wrap that edge around here with the starch. And then we're going to put that on top and then applique that to our whole piece. So it's just kind of fun, just kind of like totally unexpected again. And you know what, if this was just the block, this would be cute just like this too. So anyway, I think we're going to call it a night, because it's going to be like a big next step to do that hexagon, and I want to do it all in one sitting. So tomorrow we'll do the spool block, the Nancy's spool, and then I think Monday we will be back to this guy just because I want to get him done yet. So all right, I'm going to turn you guys around and we will call it an evening here. Hello, hello. But how do we keep the circle edge down? So, oh, do you mean this circle, Gretchen? We're going to stitch it. It's going to be exactly how these petals were. So how these petals have that little edge that we've starched, this circle will have that edge, but on the inside of the circle, because we're going to fold over little bits of this. We're going to cut the circle out, and then we're going to have our little edge, and we're going to keep folding over that edge. So we will have a nice finished edge of this piece. And that is what we're going to lay on top of the whole thing, and then we're going to stitch that edge down over the top. So that's why we didn't need to finish. That's why we didn't need to finish the outside petals, because once we stitch this on, those outside, we're going to stitch this inside circle all the way around. So once that's stitched down, those outside petals are going to be covered up by the circle. So it's a little goofy. It's a little kind of mind bender. It's applique and applique and applique all on top of each other in kind of goofy ways. But it's kind of fun. I've never done something like this before. So yay! We'll get going on this again on Monday. And tomorrow, like I said, we'll work on Nancy's spool. What was it? Page 8, I think, in the book. So we'll work on that. Easy peasy. It's going to be a good win for us, getting something done quick, especially when we work on a block like this that takes a little while. So I'll get this up on YouTube. I know this part is kind of the confusing part of the block, so it might be good to check that out again. It'll be on the Penguin and Fish page on YouTube. So that's Penguin and Fish Movies on YouTube. And then we will be, again, working on that other block on Monday. Oh, yes, so Jeannie is reminding us that there is an update to the spool block. Like, there was an error in it, so I think there's a link to the page. If you go to thesplendidsampler.com, I think there's a link to Nancy's page where there's an update. So I will be sure to check that out before tomorrow. But thanks for the reminder. I might need a reminder tomorrow at 8 o'clock so I can check it out before we come on at 8:30 here. But anyway, thanks again, you guys. It was great seeing you all again tonight, and we'll chat more tomorrow. Have a great evening. Good night.